Saws with lasers on their heads. Pew, 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 If you need to make a lot of cuts on plywood, particularly making cabinets or things like that, square cuts on long rip cuts and crosswise cuts on plywood, a circular saw works really well for that because it cuts pretty quickly. It does a very good job of making straight lines, and then it's also pretty easy to set up and use. The thing that makes a circular saw or skill saw super useful for cutting sheets is that it has adjustable depth. So this one right here can go from 2 inches all the way down to like a ½ inch depth of cut. So this adjustable cutting depth, so you can see right here as the foot moves in and out, allows you to set your cutting depth to just slightly over your material thickness, so you don't cut whatever you have below it. So in addition to being able to set the blade depth, another handy feature is you can set the angle of the blade relative to the workpiece. So this one I can set at 45. If you're cutting 2 pieces of plywood, you want to have them come together in a miter joint. So a couple of safety things. Obviously keep your hands away from the blade when you're using it. All saws made in like the last half century have 2 handles. Just put your hands when you're operating it. They have this retractable blade guide, and typically when you're cutting plywood sheets and things like that, it will automatically move out of the way as you start cutting. And I'll show you how that works in a little bit. Another important thing to keep in mind is remember where your cord is. This happens to a lot of people, including me, is that you inadvertently cut your cord, and then you spend the next 25 minutes splicing your cord back together.
Okay, go ahead.
For safety equipment, you're going to want to wear a mask, safety glasses, and a set of earplugs. Now when setting up your fence that you're going to use to cut a very precise straight cut, you're going to want to measure what your blade offset is. So take a measuring stick or a measuring tape and measure to the edge of one of the sawtooths. And on this saw, it's just a hair over 1.5 inches. So I will set my fence 1.5 inches past where I want to make my cut. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button.